I've been a Mega Man fan since I was around 5 or 6 years old and rented Mega Man 1 for the NES. I played the shit out of that game. Mega Man 1 was so damn tough, but between that game, the fact that my parents ended up getting me Mega Man 2 and 6 later on, and the amazing Mega Man cartoon show that I always watched as a kid, I've been a die-hard fan of the franchise for life. I'm going to lay down a few ground rules for this video since it's called Top 10 Classic Mega Man Games. This includes every classic Mega Man game, meaning nothing from the X, Zero, ZX, Battle Network, or Legends series. But what I have included are the classic Game Boy games and a few other hidden gems in the classic series. So charge up that Mega Buster, let's get started. We're going to start this list off with a bit of a curveball. Mega Man 4 on the Game Boy is one of the best Mega Man Game Boy games, taking what the previous Game Boy games did and vastly improving on it. The Mega Man Game Boy games usually just take 4 Robot Masters from the current numbered game and the next game and combine them. It's always been kind of a cool concept because you get to use special weapons from one game's Robot Masters against the Robot Masters in the next. But Mega Man 4 adds a new threat named Blade to the picture, and some incredible levels, especially for a Game Boy game. The music, gameplay, sound, and stages in this game are really good, and the story and cutscenes are better than most NES classic Mega Man games. All this and the fact that you get to go to space to take down Wily's space battleship makes Mega Man 4 on the Game Boy number 10 on my list. The only real downside to this game is the fact that the Mega Buster has some terrible kickback when you fully charge it, which has killed me far too many times. Number 9 is a game that we weren't even able to play legitimately here in North America until recently. And other than a few setbacks, it's a really great Mega Man game. The Wily Wars is a compilation of the first 3 classic Mega Man games remade on the Genesis and so much more. It's so cool to replay these games in 16 bits on the Genesis. Everything looks really good and the music is awesome as well. My only real gripe is that they removed mashing from the games, meaning no matter how fast you mash the shoot button, your shots are only going to come out at a set rate. In some parts of the games, this raises the difficulty exponentially. They rebalanced a lot of the boss fights, but I use that term lightly since some bosses are now incredibly tough. All in all, the games aren't quite as good as they were originally, but it's the extra stuff that really makes this game stand out. The Wily Tower segments are so good. It's all original content with new boss fights, one of which being my favorite Mega Man boss fights of all time. You even get to select your weapons from all 3 original games to use in these stages. Okay, this is the last curveball entrant on the list for a while. Mega Man 5 on the Game Boy broke down barriers that really no other classic Mega Man game has, in that it's not Robot Masters that are terrorizing the world, it's space robots called the Star Droids. Led by Terra, these guys come with a unique plot, and it just makes for such a fresh Mega Man experience. The gameplay, music, stages, story, boss fights, and special weapons in this game are top notch. I don't want to say too much because I really don't want to ruin the story for those of you who haven't played it, but please give this game a chance. If there's only one Game Boy Mega Man game you play, make it this one. You won't regret it. Now we're getting to the more traditional games in the series. Mega Man 7 on the Super NES was the only fully original 16-bit entry in the classic series. It has some of the most memorable stages, boss fights, and special weapons, but to me the music and gameplay didn't feel as tight as many of the others. I loved how they kept the Rush Adapter idea from Mega Man 6 and sort of combined the two into a third new Rush Adapter form. I pretty much used this for most of the game. I also liked how, after meeting up with Proto Man a few times, he'll actually give you his sweet-ass shield. I almost never use it, but it's just cool as hell to be able to get. Mega Man 7 would be higher on the list, but only having 4 Robot Masters to choose from at the start is kind of a bummer. And like I said, I've always felt the game didn't play as tight as most of the 8-bit games, so it sits here at number 7. There was actually a period of time where I would have said Mega Man 9 was my favorite game in the classic series, But you have to go back to when it first came out in order to fully understand that statement. There was about a 10-year drought where we didn't get a single classic Mega Man game, then all of a sudden Mega Man 9 came out and it played almost exactly like one of my favorites, Mega Man 2. It came with some really good stages, music, Robot Masters, and special weapons. Galaxy Man is one of my favorite stages and Robot Masters of all time, and Tornado Man has one of the best special weapons in the series. I would say this game's strongest point is actually its special weapons and boss fights. They really put that extra effort in making the boss weaknesses fit with the boss's attacks and patterns, which I thought was awesome. The weakest point in 9 for me are the Wily stages. They just didn't feel as fun as some of the previous entries. And the Wily stage boss fights are all just terrible, especially Dino Egg Wily. Man, I hate that guy. All in all, Mega Man 9 is a great game, just don't get blinded by nostalgia like I did when it first came out. This is a game that gets hated on by so many people, and I feel most of those people have never actually played the damn game. Rockman and Forte, or Mega Man and Bass as it's known here, is actually a damn good game. Now keep in mind, I'm basing all this on the Super Famicom version of the game, because why would I play the inferior Game Boy Advance version if I don't have to? You constantly hear about people complaining how the game was built to be played as Bass, and if you're playing as Mega Man, the game is impossible. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's a blatant lie. The only smidge of truth in that statement is that I found the Robot Master stages and fights to be easier as Mega Man, and the Wily stages easier as Bass. I've beaten it with both characters, and I still think the game is a bit tougher as Bass, just because he doesn't get a charge shot. I always find the first Robot Master to be the toughest in the classic games because you don't have any special weapons to use as a boss weakness, but starting at Mega Man 4, you've always had the Mega Buster's charge shot, other than in Mega Man 9 and 10. Trying to take on the first Robot Master using Bass as Pea-Shooter can be quite the challenge, so I would actually recommend your first playthrough be done as Mega Man. This game has fantastic graphics, really well designed gameplay and stages, and Burner Man is one of the most memorable Robot Masters of all time. There are 3 things that hold this game back from being in the top 3. There are no E-Tanks, no Rush, and this ridiculously difficult boss fight. This right here is the hardest boss in the entire classic series, and the first time I finally beat his ass, I fell by accidentally sliding off the last platform and had to do it all over again. Fuck this guy! We've now reached the top tier of classic Mega Man games. Any of these 4 are known to be the best in the classic series and are all really good games. Starting off at number 4 with Mega Man 3. I'm constantly going back and forth as to which I like more, 2 or 3. Right now I prefer Mega Man 2. Pretty much since I've known him, my friend Mike and I have been back and forth on which is better. He's always stood firmly believing that Mega Man 3 is the better game. Overall, Mega Man 3 definitely brings more to the table than 2 did. This is the first game with Rush the Robot Dog. Rush can turn into a multitude of things. In this game, you had Rush Coil, which made you jump higher, Rush Marine, which is pretty much useless and allows you to drive around in the water, and Rush Jet, which is a jet board that allows you to fly around the stages with full control of movement, and yes, you can even fly in the water, which is why Rush Marine is completely useless. Mega Man 3 is also the debut of my favorite Mega Man character, Proto Man, and they did such an amazing job of giving him a good story without needing to go out of its way and shove a bunch of cutscenes down your throat. This game has some iconic robot masters such as Snake Man, Magnet Man, and Gemini Man. One of my favorite stages in the entire series is Snake Man's because of the variety it offers. It's got a little bit of everything from turrets and charging enemies to tight ladder climbing and platforming. Probably the only thing I don't like about this game are the Dockman stages. Mega Man 3 to 5 always just seem to drag on for me. Thankfully, the Dockman stages aren't as annoying as the Dr. Cossack and Darkman stages. All in all, Mega Man 3 is most definitely a top 4 classic Mega Man game. I just like these next 3 a little bit more. Here we are at Mega Man 2, a game that a lot of people consider to be the best in the classic series. Mega Man 2 was the game that really made me fall in love with the series. It had all the items which would go on to become Rush in 3, It had probably the most iconic robot masters of them all in Metal Man, Woodman, Crashman, Airman, and Quickman. Mega Man 2 is also notorious for having Metal Man's weapon be super effective against pretty much every robot master, and it has a shitload of ammo compared to most special weapons as well. The stages in Mega Man 2 are all very well done and enjoyable. The only stage where I really have problems sometimes is Airman's. That dude is an asshole to fight as well if you can't manage to cheese it and sneak behind him. This is one of the few Mega Man games that has really memorable Wily stage bosses as well. I'm talking about the Mecha Dragon, one of the most famous boss fights in the franchise, and of course the alien final boss, which can only be defeated by getting it wet with the bubble shot in order to reveal that it was just a hologram controlled by Dr. Wily the entire time. For making so many improvements over the original Mega Man in such a small amount of time, skyrocketing the series into popularity, and just being a damn good Mega Man game, Mega Man 2 deserves its spot at number 3. Alright, now here's where things might get a bit controversial for some people. Keep in mind it is okay for these games not to be your favorites. In fact, please tell me your favorites in the comments below and let me know why you love them so much. I love all the Mega Man games on this list, but these next two really are the ones I love most. Mega Man 10 takes everything from pretty much every Mega Man game and puts it into one fantastic game. I love that you can play as not just 2, but 3 different characters, all with slight differences. If you love Mega Man 2 and 9, then play as Mega Man. He controls almost exactly as he did in those games. If you love Mega Man 3 and 4, then play Proto Man, who has the slide and the charge shot. I loved playing as Proto Man in Mega Man 9 as well, since he is my favorite character, but I just felt like Mega Man 10 had much better stages and even robot masters than 9 did. Some other differences for Proto Man is the fact that he can only have 2 shots on screen instead of Mega Man's usual 3, he has a shield that can deflect most projectiles when jumping, and the dude has way less hit points than Mega Man does. In Mega Man 10, you can also play as Bass from Mega Man 7, 8, and Mega Man and Bass. For Bass, you can dash, which is similar to the dash in both Mega Man 7, Bass, and of course, the dash that's in the Mega Man X series. He can rapid fire in 7 directions, allowing up to 4 shots on screen, but he can't run while shooting. He seems to have a bit more health than Mega Man, and is able to combine with his dog Treble to fly around as Super Bass, similar to the Rush adapter in Mega Man 6 and 7, and of course, his Treble adapter in Mega Man 7, 8, and Mega Man and Bass. All this variety, as well as the ability to change the difficulty setting, makes Mega Man 10 not only the most accessible classic Mega Man game, but also the most replayable one. I haven't even got to the amazing robot masters like Blade Man, Strike Man, Nitro Man, and my personal favorite robot master, Sheep Man. Every robot master in this game has a really good stage, and each special weapon is useful in some form or another. The creativity in the stage designs, as well as having a really well done story, multiple playable characters, and lovable robot masters are what makes Mega Man 10 exceed all the previous entries on the list. Honestly, the only thing that could have made 10 better is if they added co-op multiplayer, more path options for the stages, and made use of Mega Man's Rush adapter, which leads us into... Number 1 on my list is Mega Man 6. I remember reading about this game in a Nintendo Power magazine before actually playing it. I read every single page on every single stage and power-up. Mega Man 6 introduced the Rush adapter, which allows Rush to fuse onto Mega Man, giving him the ability to fly with a jetpack, or become buff as fuck and punch through walls and previously invincible enemies. The Rush adapter to me is the single greatest add-on in the entire classic series. Thanks to this, the game developers were able to make multiple different paths through all the stages, making each playthrough unique. I personally always start with either Plant Man or Flame Man stages so that I can get the jet and power adapters right away. You can really tell this game took inspiration from Mega Man X because of the multiple different paths, leading to bonus items like getting beat and getting all the extra lives and E-tanks. This game is so great because it's designed to never need a store. Everything you would ever want or need can be acquired by playing through the different paths in the stages. This is so awesome to me because it removes all the stop and go bullshit of some of the other games. It's such a smooth, enjoyable playthrough. I love all of the Robot Master fights, and the special weapons in this game are so good. Sure, Tomahawk Man's weapon seems to be a bit OP at times, but each weapon has its place, and each boss fight is really well done. Speaking of boss fights, Mega Man 6 also has my favorite Wily stage and, Mr. X stage boss fights. I love the Rounders, the Matonga Z, the X-Crusher, and the Mechazords is my favorite Wily Stage boss fight of all time. This game also has my favorite Wily fight of all time in Wily Machine 6. Even the story in this game brings me joy, as I'm a huge Gundam fan, and the story of this game is ripped directly from G Gundam. All these things and more are why Mega Man 6 is my favorite game in the classic series. If you've never played this one, make sure to give it a try, and maybe you can solve the deep mystery and find out who Mr. X really is. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Make sure to tell me your favorite classic Mega Man game of all time in the comments, and I hope to see you either live on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Dookie03 or in the next video. Take care and have a great rest of your day.